last night we had a long meeting with Robyn Gritz, and I, just to preamble this, might have said, what, three sentences last night? I asked three questions. The one question was 1 hour. The first question was an hour. I said, tell me your life story, Robyn, from beginning to end. And she was able to kind of just say that for an hour, really. And that was great. And let me turn the camera around here. We are right below Trump Tower, as everybody probably can see. So I'm going to bring Task Force in, who was there with me for that 3 hours. And it was really I asked one question a couple of questions in the middle about Iran. I really wanted to know all about Robert Levinson and Iran. And that's really all I spoke. So if I have some kind of magic voodoo that I can do, I didn't do it so well. The voodoo I do, I don't do so well. So what are your, I guess, initial impressions, law enforcement officer to law enforcement officer from last night, Task Force?
First of all, that Robyn Gritz is an American hero, which I told her last night in her first service for her country. And as you listen to her story, she's just done such incredible work on behalf of the American people. And what she spoke about, which resonated with me stronger than anything, she talked about her, a family member of hers, I'm not going to give details, but there was a police officer who held such an ethical and moral standard in him. And she looked up to him and admired him and had that in herself. And of all the things that we talked about in the different stories we shared back and forth of our own personal experiences, they mimic each other in a lot of ways.
She started in the state police level like you did.
Right.
Yeah, which I did not know in New Jersey. I did not know that.
Right. So all those stories. And then the similar story of fighting back against, whether you say corruption or things that are not being done appropriately within the justice system, and you being the one that says, no, I'm going to take a stand on this, and the retaliation that comes from that. And still saying that the most important part of all this is your morals, your integrity, your ethics, and that
she's on. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, just that the 99%, but most police officers on the street, that's who they are. That's who they are in the FBI. Most agents are that. What we're getting a taste of in the news and what's going on right now are these elite kind of top guys. They're not the street guys, and
right.
people to really understand that.
Yeah, I think everybody actually does understand that. But the one thing I wanted to ask you about was Twitter. Twitter's on fire. Robyn Gritz has lit Twitter up, you know?
Yeah, I saw this morning.
Are we supposed to feel sorry for Andy McCabe? And does anybody really believe Strokes is really in all these meetings all over the place, and it's not Andy in the basement of 935 Pennsylvania? But anyway, go ahead.
Just watching, Twitter this morning, watching her really come out aggressive, and she's her Bob Levinson story and the story about McCabe and her feelings and the way she was treated, and
I believe the word ass clown was used.
Yeah, ass clown was used several times, which is something I like to commonly use on my Twitter. So
you're having an effect, Task Force.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I gave her ass clown. I think she probably figured that one out for herself with Andy McCabe.
Well, it was good to see. This, I think the story about the PR firm, Bromwich, came out yesterday, that it's not, Andy's defense fund wasn't this spontaneous $500,000. It was 14, how many donors? 14 donors or something?
Something like that, and from K Street, yeah.
Yeah, and they're all K Street lobbyists, all wanting something from the FBI or all wanting something from Navy or whatever. And the other piece that I thought was interesting was the person who owns Bromwich actually was the Inspector General for the Department of Justice when Bill Clinton was president.
Right.
So, it's not only a K Street law firm, it's this guy who was a DOE insider. He was a DOE insider, and then before that, he was an Inspector General of the DOJ. We got to run Bromwich for the SES search to see how are you moving? First of all, it gives me no trust in Horowitz, who said he was going to have his report out in January, and now it's April. Still nothing. But it makes me feel even worse about all the inspectors general. Where are all these people? And can any of them be trusted? Have they been sitting on these whistleblower reports really for 20 years since Bromwich? Because if Bromwich had anything to do with it, I know it's a fake. And anyway, this I was telling task force coming here that we've got $500,000 in Andy's fake account, and we've got $20,000 in the Robyn Gritz real account, and it's not making for the PR story that K Street wants to tell today.
Right, and I would just encourage everyone to contribute to Robyn Gritz, her GoFundMe, and stop the Andy McCabe BS narrative, because Ask Clown really fits the picture here.
Now, would you? A lot of people, talk about vindication. Now, would you want to have a role, let's say, as an advisor to Trump about drugs involved in that sort of thing, anti-corruption?
Yeah, I what I would want more than anything is just to be able to help root out the corruption that's within the system, the justice system, whether it's FBI or in different states, how the process works, how it works with district attorneys, what the political buyouts are, information that would be very helpful to President Trump or whoever is assisting him, or to the Justice Department on what's really going on in this country at the level that I'm able to personally expose or give testimony to.
So one of the things that Task Force put out in terms of documentation was that there was this CIA guy named Clotsworthy, I love that name, standing next to the latest and greatest North Korean EV-3 rocket. And we've got a picture of him, we put it out there.
Right.
Now, do we really think that the North Koreans are making all this technology, with these people that look like they're slaves working in a lithium mine, right? If they look at Kim Jong-il, wrong, they throw them to the dogs or make them organ donors, right? They're getting these. We know AQ Kwan. We know AQ Kwan is the centrifuge broker for Pakistan. We know that they have places in Chasma for spinning uranium. We know that places in Astana for spinning uranium. We know that there's a nuclear program in Iran. We know these people are the middlemen. We know Pakistan's a middleman. We know Iran's a middleman. We know that the Kim Jong-il, after he meets with Dennis Rodman, no, that's not enough expertise to come up with a field of centrifuge machines. We have Jeffrey Sterling now involved in this.
Eric Schmidt was now, pictures have come out. Eric Schmidt is in North Korea a couple of years ago. I mean, you've got Clotsworthy, you got a CIA, Clotsworthy, a government official in North Korea standing next to their newest rock. How does these things happen when they are, tell us on the mainstream media that North Korea is some closed off society that literally no one can get in, and we've got the head of Google in North Korea working. It's just ludicrous. So
it's an obvious pay-to-play situation. But then what I'm going for here is the middleman. Who is the middleman in all these things? We've got the 1, 2, 3 Dropbox with the Awans. We know that they weren't vetted. So is that where these discussions were going on? It seems like they have a lot of state cover. There's a lot of state cover with the deals there with the Dropbox. Remember, terabytes went to Pakistan, right? So and also these payments, we still don't know what the payments are. So was Pakistan the middleman for North Korea, or was Iran? We think with Robyn Gritz, and we'd love for her. We don't want to do the interview. We want the long form interview to be on. I want it to be on Crowdsource the Truth. I want Jason to do that interview. Do a long form interview where Robyn Gritz explains everything about the Levinson case and all the people she was working with, and develop out a map of who all is involved in this, because this Iran thing keeps coming back. It's the 20 Blackberries. It's going to be the 19 different Gmail accounts, right, that were involved in the Iran deal with Kerry and all the Crackberry kids, right? So that is all signs keep pointing to Iran. The plane with the hostages, with the money, and now the Blackberries point to Iran. The 1, 2, 3 Dropbox points to Iran. Robert Levison points to Iran. Jeffrey Sterling points to Iran. Everything points to Iran. The Iranians are shooting people at Google for whatever reason coming over. YouTube. So what's going on with Iran? We need Jason out there. I heard it was a big thing about me, hypnotizing Robyn Gritz or something. You take her interview and talk to her for 2 hours about Iran and Levison. It'd be a great story to do, okay? Why don't you go do that? Rather than, hey Dave, how you doing? Thanks for your service. Why don't you go do that? I could care less about viewers. I could care less about subscribers. I want to start, that's the other, well, I won't say that just yet. I want to get your, okay, well, Dave thinks it's a mistake to talk to Jason. I would love Robyn to go on to One America Network or wherever. Dave, whatever network you think she should talk about, I think that'd be a good idea. Do you think having a secret nuclear program longer in Iran is the way to go? I don't think so. Having a secret nuclear program in North Korea longer with the CIA there? No, I don't think that's the way to go. Secret program run out of Astana for the nuclear fuel? No, I don't think that's the way to go. So these are some of the things that I think the American people need to know. What the heck happened with the Iran hostage deal? What the heck happened with the Iran nuclear deal? How was it negotiated on the Blackberries? Was that the same as Anthony Weiner's trusted staff? Was that the same